Photography is actually a lonely affair. But there is also something special about this being completely with yourself. It lets you ground yourself and reflect on the essentials. Sometimes it is even a kind of refuge. But photography is not about hiding away. It's about discovering and learning, and sometimes about seeing the world in a new light. When I moved to Switzerland in 2008, for example, I thought I knew what to expect. When I mentioned, while traveling abroad, that I had moved to Switzerland, everyone knew exactly what it was like here. Everyone drives fancy cars, wears expensive watches, and lives in a chalet. And to be honest, before I moved here, I had a similar idea. While I was traveling around Switzerland, however, I discovered a completely different side. A much more down-to-earth, real and diverse Switzerland than the clichés would have you believe. To me, this was particularly evident in the aged buildings by the roadside that barely caught anyone's eyes. Simple houses, but full of character. Like faces marked by life, they tell of a Switzerland that is gradually disappearing. With my photographs, I try to show this hidden side. A country that is both familiar and surprisingly different from what you'd expect. To achieve this, I spend endless hours on the roads. I collect interesting buildings all year round so that I can return in winter and capture them under the right conditions. Endless snow-covered roads, winding paths through winter landscapes, a sight I see less and less often. Climate change doesn't stop at my series and becomes more visible every year. Since I started working on it in 2014, each winter I find fewer days with suitable weather. During the winter months, I keep a constant eye on the weather forecast. And to catch the right moment, if the conditions are favorable, I occasionally spend the night in the car in sub-zero temperatures. This time, I was on my way to western Switzerland to photograph chalet number 38 on the Jorn Pass in the canton of Fribourg. On those days in April, when winter was actually already over, a true blizzard suddenly hit Switzerland. One of those lucky days when all the conditions were right for me, and I set off head over heels. Most people would probably describe it as terrible weather. Heaps of snow, overcast skies, dense fog and snowfall. However, these are the perfect conditions for my work. Flat contrast is the key to being able to bring out all the details and color nuances in the retouching. From the original shot to the finished image, it can take hours or even days before the motif is ready. To achieve the special feel of the images, I use old Leica and Zeiss lenses from the 70s and 80s. Their soft and analog look underlines the expression of the facades. And as they are not designed for modern sensors, they have optical defects and lots of character, just like the houses I portray with them. Incidentally, the word chalet comes from the Latin word cala, which means something like sheltered place. Even today in Spanish, the word cala still refers to a bay, a place by the sea that is sheltered from the wind and weather. Above all, working on this series has shown me how transient this architecture really is. Since I started, many of the houses have been demolished or are about to fall into disrepair. And the expression protected place involuntarily takes on a double meaning. The place that was originally supposed to offer protection is now in need of protection itself.
In this time, give it to me easy, and let me try with pleasured hands to take you in the sun to promised lands, to show you everyone. It's the time of the season for love.
I will probably be watching the weather again in the next winters, hoping for the right conditions to take more portraits of such buildings. Portraits that, like faces, tell very personal stories of life and transformation, and of a country that reveals surprising sides beyond the clichés.